Hey everyone, welcome back. This is the next video as promised in the portrait series. We are going to do a one light rim portrait, and this is one that you can do just about anywhere. We're going to be doing it in the studio with studio lighting, but you could do it even with as simple as construction paper and a bed sheet and a flash. So pay attention to the fundamentals and have at it. Have fun. Okay, so today we're going to be utilizing a strobe light in the back, a 120 centimeter octabox with no grid, and some $2 foam construction core paper from the dollar store. And it's held in place with a couple of clamps, and it's right in the middle. And what this is going to allow is not necessarily we're controlling the light, but what we're doing is we're controlling the spill of the light. And so we're allowing only the light to wrap around what we want to see. And so that's what this is going to do for us today. And let's do some shooting. Okay, so we have the lighting set up, and the lovely Elizabeth is standing in front, ready to model for us. And there are some differences. I had asked Elizabeth to wear some stuff where it shows the skin. And so the skin will reflect the light really nicely, and we're going to show you what that looks like before though, with the robe, and then without the robe. So before we get shooting, I do want to talk about the gear that I'm using today. This is a Canon 1DX Mark II. It is a little bit overkill for what we're doing today, but my creative shooting camera is actually the one that we're videoing on, and so I'm using my sports camera. We're doing also mated with a 24-105 f4 and the Godox trigger, and that's it. It's a pretty simple setup. And so Elizabeth is keeping the robe on. She's now centered a little bit in front of the cards, in front of the light, and so we're just going to take a quick picture. And as you can see here, the picture, the rim lighting doesn't really hit the skin or anything that allows that light to kind of reflect back into the lens. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same shot now.
Oh, almost.
But you will see that the skin gets a nice glow on it, and that's exactly what we're looking for in the One Light Rim Portrait Series. Just tuck your elbow in a bit. Perfect. And so as you can see, the light gets reflected off the skin, and it gives a nice kind of rim lighting all the way around. You can play with the placement of the cards in the back. As you can see from the images, we left a little bit of lighting open at the top so that you could get a full rim right around Elizabeth. Actually, if you could just stand, maybe just put your hands over your head, a little to your right, move a little to your right. Yeah, perfect. All right. So as you can see, the lighting picks up our hair on both sides really nicely, as well as on the top. So it gives a nice surround kind of rim lighting. Okay, well, let's just fire off a bunch of images and see if see what we like. Okay, so as you can see, we've done some shooting, and you can still see us because we have the overhead lighting on. Some people think that you shouldn't be shooting with the overhead lights on. Lots of people do with, lots of people do without, and whatever works for you is fine. If you are going to use the overhead light, just adjust your settings so that when you start the image, it's black, right? And so that way when you're adding light in, you're allowing the lens or the viewer to see whatever you want them to see, and that's it. And so often my starting point and my most comfortable setting is in a 1 to 200th of a setting for shutter speed. And there is some variability in the shutters on some of the systems. This one here, the Godox system, has high speed, and you can kind of range from like 1/125th to 1 to 250th-ish before you start to see the shutter breaking through the image. And so each one of those things will show you potentially a different image, be it shadows or whatnot. And so we're actually going to show you what that looks like. So we're going to start at 1 to 100th of a second, and we're going to go all the way up to 1 to 250th.
Same pose every time?
Same pose every time, just so you can see exactly what that looks like. Okay, so the first one is a 1 to 100th. Next one is the 1 to 125. Next is 1 to 160. One to 200. And 1 to 250. So as you can see, there are subtle differences. The slower your shutter speed, the more ambient light that's going to let in. And again, this does play into effect when you're using the overhead lights. And so if you do want to slow your shutter speed down, and you may, because there's a lot of creative processes that happen when you do slow your shutter speed down, and there may be a video coming with some more longer exposure stuff as well. And so again, just experiment. Make sure that what you get out of the image is what you want, and understanding how to get to that end result can sometimes mean the difference between a 1 to 100th of a second sync speed and a 1 to 250th. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to show you what happens when we change the apertures by one full stop on every image. And we're going to start with f4, then we're going to progress to 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. And so every time that we change those shutter speeds, you are going to notice a difference in the lighting, and it should be pretty drastic. And so let's try it. And we're going to go down right to f4.
And we're back at
1 to 2. We're at 1 to 200th of a second. All right. Okay, and that's what that looks like. F5, 6. F8. F10. And finally, F12. Sorry, F13. So the other thing we can do is to adjust how the light hits the model or your subject. You can either move them further away or closer to the light source, or you can move the light source further away or closer to the subject. One is easier than the other, so take your pick. But we are going to show you what that looks like. So we're going to put Elizabeth right up against the light, or sorry, right up against the black card, and then we're going to show her moving one step away. Perfect. Okay, so that was at F5, 6, 1 to 200th, and 200 ISO. Now she's stepped one step away from the light, and you're going to see a very distinct difference between the two.
One more? To go one more?
Yeah, one more step forward. So now we're way off. And as you can see, it very much changes the images. I'm really glad you stopped by, and thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as that is kind of how we get paid these days for doing these videos, and I love doing them. We love doing them. And so the more you guys like and subscribe, the more videos that we're going to put out. So make sure you hit that like button and follow along the journey. We are going to tease what's coming next, and that is shutter drag long exposure portrait photography. And so we are going to actually utilize multiple different light sources, and we're going to show you some really cool effects on how to make some really neat in-camera, no CGI, no Photoshop pictures that people will definitely think that you've done in the computer. Make sure you stick around and check out the video when it hits.